emotional issues, but they're crazy.
I never expected to be homeless. I never expected to lose my husband.
If you visit Seattle right now, what would you see? A stunning city surrounded by lush green forests and vast, windy coastlines? Or would you notice the struggling lives of those less fortunate? Living cramped in tattered tents along the sidewalks, where a strong gust of wind could tear everything away in an instant. These aren't just passing shadows in the night. They're real people facing daily battles. From searching for a safe place to sleep to wrestling with health and safety challenges, homelessness in Seattle has become a crisis that can't be ignored. In this video, we're diving deep into this reality, exploring the causes, the struggles, and the voices of those directly affected. Because behind every tent is a life, a hope, and a story that deserves to be heard. Overview of Seattle, a city of beauty and challenges. Seattle is often celebrated for its stunning natural beauty. The shimmering waters of Puget Sound and the endless stretches of lush, green forests that surround the city. These scenes paint a picture of calm and serenity, a perfect escape into nature right at the doorstep of a bustling urban center. But beneath this beautiful facade lies a stark reality. In the heart of Seattle, especially downtown, you'll find many people living without homes, taking shelter under highway overpasses and makeshift tents and on the streets. This glaring contrast between nature's calm and the harshness of homelessness is a reminder that even prosperous cities can struggle deeply with social challenges. It raises a tough question. How can a city that's grown so quickly and thrived economically still face such a serious homelessness crisis? The answer is complex, involving factors like soaring housing costs, widening economic gaps, and gaps in social support systems. As Seattle shines as a tech and cultural hub, it also wrestles with making sure no one gets left behind, showing that beauty and struggle can exist side by side, even in the same place. Overview of the current homeless situation in Seattle. As of 2024, Seattle's homelessness crisis remains a pressing issue, with over 16,000 individuals experiencing homelessness in King County on a single night. This marks a 26% increase from 2022, underscoring the escalating nature of the problem. The majority of these individuals, approximately 9,810, were unsheltered, living in public spaces such as streets, parks, and vehicles. Nationwide, Washington state ranks third in the U.S. for the number of homeless individuals, with 31,554 people affected in 2024. A concerning trend is the rise in chronic homelessness, which increased by 56% in 2024, accounting for nearly half of the state's homeless population. In response, Seattle's Unified Care Team conducted over 2,500 encampment cleanups in 2024, averaging more than 6 per day. While these efforts aim to address immediate concerns, they highlight the need for sustainable solutions to the underlying issues of homelessness. The primary drivers of this crisis include a severe shortage of affordable housing, rising rental costs, and systemic challenges in mental health and addiction services. Addressing these root causes is essential for creating lasting change and ensuring that all residents have access to safe and stable housing. History of homelessness in Seattle. Homelessness in Seattle didn't appear overnight. It's a story shaped by the city's complex past and economic shifts over centuries. To truly understand the crisis today, it helps to look back at where it all began. In the 19th century, Seattle was still a frontier town, and areas known as skid roads became home to many of the city's poorest residents. These rough neighborhoods laid the groundwork for social inequality that would echo through generations. it was here that the roots of homelessness first took hold, tied to economic hardship and limited opportunity. Fast forward to the 1930s, the Great Depression hit Seattle hard, just like the rest of the country. With mass unemployment came the rise of makeshift shanty towns called Hoovervilles, where displaced families built flimsy shelters from scraps. Life was tough, but these communities reflected resilience amid despair. Then came the 1970s, when the Boeing bust sent shockwaves through Seattle's economy. Thousands lost their jobs practically overnight, and with fewer income options, homelessness surged. The once thriving working class suddenly found themselves on the edge, struggling to survive. Finally, the tech boom of the 1990s and early 2000s transformed Seattle into a global powerhouse. Companies like Microsoft and Amazon brought wealth and growth, but also pushed housing costs through the roof. While some prospered, many longtime residents were priced out of their neighborhoods, widening the gap between rich and poor, and deepening the homelessness crisis. Seattle's history shows that homelessness is tied not just to personal circumstances, but to larger economic cycles and social policies. Understanding this past is key to finding real, lasting solutions for the future. Main causes of homelessness. Homelessness in Seattle is a complex issue that's not caused by any single factor, but rather a combination of challenges that have grown over time. At the heart of the problem lies the soaring cost of housing. Seattle's rapid growth and booming tech industry have pushed rental prices and home values to levels that many simply cannot afford. The shortage of affordable housing leaves thousands scrambling for a place to call home, often with nowhere to turn. Alongside this, economic inequality continues to widen the gap between those who can keep up with the rising cost of living and those who fall behind. Many people working low-wage jobs find their income barely covers basic expenses, let alone rent or mortgage payments. This financial pressure is a driving force pushing more individuals and families onto the streets. Mental health and addiction challenges also play a significant role. Seattle's healthcare system, particularly for mental health and substance abuse treatment, is overwhelmed and underfunded. Many homeless individuals struggle with untreated conditions, making it harder for them to access stable housing or employment. Without sufficient support services, these issues become both a cause and consequence of homelessness. On top of these struggles, federal support for housing and social services has been reduced over the years, and changes to zoning laws have sometimes limited the development of affordable housing options. These policy shifts have made it even tougher for cities like Seattle to tackle the crisis effectively. Finally, Seattle's mild, wet climate unintentionally makes living outdoors more feasible than in harsher regions. This reality means many people remain unsheltered year-round, exposed to the elements, but often without any better alternative. Together, these factors create a challenging environment where homelessness persists and grows. Understanding these root causes helps us grasp why the crisis is so deeply entrenched and why simple fixes won't suffice. Next, we'll look at how this homelessness crisis impacts both individuals living on the streets and the broader community around them. The impact of the homelessness crisis on individuals and communities. Homelessness isn't just a statistic, it's a harsh reality that deeply affects individuals and the communities around them. For those living without stable shelter, the daily challenges are overwhelming. They endure constant exposure to the elements, freezing rain, biting cold, or scorching sun, with little protection. Basic hygiene becomes nearly impossible, contributing to deteriorating health and a heightened risk of serious illnesses. Tragically, the chance of premature death among the homeless population is alarmingly high, a sobering reminder of the vulnerability these individuals face. But the impact doesn't stop there. Communities also feel the ripple effects of homelessness. Local economies can suffer as businesses face concerns about safety and cleanliness, sometimes driving customers away. Public services are stretched thin, with increased demands on emergency responders, healthcare, and sanitation departments. These additional pressures often translate into higher costs for taxpayers and strain on city budgets. Moreover, the social fabric of neighborhoods weakens when the visible presence of homelessness grows, causing discomfort and division among residents. The strain extends beyond finances and public perception. Homelessness challenges the core of community cohesion, making it harder to foster inclusive, safe, and thriving environments. This collective burden falls heavily on social services and nonprofit organizations, which frequently operate under limited resources while trying to meet growing needs. Understanding these wide-ranging effects is crucial as we move forward. Next, we'll explore the efforts, strategies, and innovative solutions Seattle is implementing to address this complex crisis and support both individuals and the broader community. Response efforts, solutions, and initiatives. Homelessness in Seattle is a complex crisis that affects thousands of people every day. While the challenges seem overwhelming, the city and its community have taken important steps toward addressing this issue. Let's take a closer look at some of the key efforts, solutions, and innovative ideas aimed at making a real difference. One of the first moves Seattle made was declaring a state of emergency on homelessness. This allowed for a swift redirection of resources and gave city agencies the ability to act quickly. Emergency shelters have been expanded, and outreach teams now work around the clock, 24/7, to connect people experiencing homelessness with the services they need. Funding for these programs has also increased, showing a commitment to supporting those in crisis. A major approach gaining traction is the Housing First model. Instead of making people jump through hoops to qualify for housing, this strategy provides stable, permanent housing right away. Once someone has a safe place to live, it becomes easier to tackle other challenges like finding employment, managing health issues, or overcoming addiction. Seattle has seen success stories from programs that combine housing with comprehensive support services such as medical care, job training, and substance abuse treatment, helping many move toward independent and stable lives. Beyond traditional shelters and apartments, Seattle has embraced creative housing solutions to meet diverse needs. Tiny house villages offer small but dignified homes in community settings, giving residents privacy and safety with access to basic amenities. Additionally, sanctioned tent encampments provide regulated spaces where people can live more securely while working toward longer-term housing. These transitional environments help reduce the trauma of homelessness and build pathways toward stability. Mental health and addiction are closely tied to homelessness, and Seattle has recognized this by expanding intervention programs and mobile health teams. These services provide critical, on-the-ground support to people who might otherwise fall through the cracks. Long-term counseling, medication management, and peer support groups are increasingly available, aiming to break the cycle of chronic homelessness caused by untreated mental health and substance use issues. Typical personal story, Joe. Sometimes, behind every statistic, there's a person with a story worth telling. Take Joe, for example. Once employed and hopeful, Joe's life took a harsh turn as rising living costs and unexpected medical bills forced him into homelessness. Losing his job only made things worse, and soon he found himself living in a cramped tent, struggling to get by. But Joe's journey didn't end there. Through access to supportive services in Seattle's Housing First program, he secured stable housing, giving him a chance to rebuild. His experience opened his eyes to the larger issue. Homelessness isn't just a personal failure. It's a systemic problem that demands compassion and smart policies. His path reminds us that with the right support, recovery, and hope are possible for many more like him. Personal reflection and social message. It's hard not to feel conflicted when you look at Seattle today, a city booming with technology and wealth, yet struggling with visible poverty and homelessness. This stark contrast between high-tech prosperity and human hardship forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. The homelessness crisis isn't just about individuals facing tough times. It's a symptom of deeper economic inequality and gaps in social safety nets that fail to catch so many falling through the cracks. As we witness this divide, a serious question arises. What kind of society do we want to build? One where a growing number of people lack basic shelter, dignity, and hope? Or one where prosperity is shared and everyone has the chance to live with security and respect? This moment calls for more than just awareness. It demands action. It's a call to all of us, whether locals, visitors, or global citizens, to step up and contribute. Change won't happen overnight, but by recognizing the humanity behind homelessness and pushing for compassionate, comprehensive policies, we can help build a community where no one is left behind. After all, the true measure of progress is how we care for our most vulnerable. Conclusion, future directions. Seattle is a city of striking beauty and relentless innovation. Yet beneath this vibrant surface lies a profound social challenge that can't be ignored. Homelessness here is not just a statistic. It's a pressing issue demanding thoughtful solutions and compassionate action. Thankfully, smart policies and community-driven initiatives are beginning to light a path toward hope and real change. But lasting progress depends on each of us taking responsibility, supporting humane efforts, and advocating for those in need. What role will you play in shaping a future where everyone has a place to call home? How can we, as a community, push for meaningful solutions that go beyond temporary fixes? If this story moves you, please like, comment, and subscribe. Together, we can raise awareness and inspire positive action to help rebuild Seattle into a city where prosperity and compassion walk hand in hand.